All right, good morning. Good morning out there. Let's make sure that we're not too cranky. Checking, checking. Okay. All right. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Resales. My name's Ryan. I get stuff from yard sales, garage sales, thrift stores, similar places, and try to make a few extra bucks online and at flea markets occasionally, which is what I did this weekend. I'll talk about that a little bit. But other than that, uh, interesting week sales wise, which isn't bad, but it is what it is. Very curious, actually. And we'll discuss that this morning. But first, sales and maybe a few finds. I guess I'm gonna have to talk about. If I'm gonna talk about sales, I'm gonna talk about what sold this week because of what was interesting about it. So we're gonna dive into that a little bit and my flea market journey this weekend. Journey. That's what influencers say. Journey. I went to a flea market and sold stuff. That's what happened. That was my journey. Anyway, so let's jump into it. Two sales over the whole weekend, which was interesting. Thursday was good. Thursday had like 4 or 5 sales, and then like weekends have been just the last couple of weekends have been down. And I think that there's a lot of people struggling with that right now for whatever reason. Anyway, first up, Margaritaville hat. I got a good stash of hats last week from the Last Chance Goodwill for like a buck a piece, which is why I really like paying for hats, is $1 a piece or less. And so I think I got 6 or 8 hats that I think are all in the $10 to $20 range, and a couple that may be a little more. And so this one. This is a Margaritaville hat. 15 bucks is what it went for. A handful of location specific hats that you can only get at, like, you can't buy Margaritaville hats except Margaritaville. Occasionally, like Hard Rock Cafe stuff. Kinda. It's not nothing that'll blow the doors open typically, unless there's a weird rare piece or something that you get. But Margaritaville hat for 15 bucks. It's a good sale. And my other eBay sale is Lost in Jigsaw 2. It's some sort of maze puzzle thingy. And this went for 18 bucks. I usually don't do games or puzzles. I don't like getting puzzles particularly when they're incomplete. But this one was still in the plastic, so I could sell it as new, and it got out the door. And this sold, I think, 2 months. Both of these, that Margaritaville hat was less than a month. This, I think, was less than 2. So this is pretty reasonably not slow sales. Let's put it that way. So, okay, flea market. About once a quarter, I go out to the flea market to sell stuff I can't quite move on eBay, or if I find something at a yard sale, it's like that. Like I sold a compound miter, a Delta compound miter saw. I picked up for 20 bucks at a yard sale, sold it for 50 at the flea market. I got a couple. I sell tools, and the flea market sales range. There's like two things that sell. It's like $1 to $3 items, or bigger stuff like saws and tools and that sort of thing. Sometimes I sell a lot of toys out there. Sell a lot of Hot Wheels out there. It's actually my bread and butter out there. Is if I can get a few bags of Hot Wheels at quarter a piece or less, I will bring them out to the flea market and sell them 50 cents a piece. I'll try to get the ones that flip on eBay for a few bucks, and then go out there and try to get 50 cents a piece or so for Hot Wheels. Or sometimes you get a collector, you can get a little bit more. And we actually sold out of Hot Wheels, and I probably made close to 50 bucks off of them. One guy came and bought, and this particular batch I had brought out three times out to the flea market, And so I made my money off of them. I made plenty of money off all these Hot Wheels. So one guy gave me, I said, "Yeah, I'll give you 30 bucks for what you got left." No brainer sale with what I had. So it was a good good business decision. So, and we did about 200 bucks. We brought one of my sons out with me. He made a little money selling some of his stuff and helping me out. And Buddy came out with me, sold some stuff. So it was a good time. Picked up a couple things, and we'll talk about those in a minute, and go from there. But on to a couple more things that sold this week. One of those, this is sort of a bread and butter thing for me, is these great illustrated classics. I still have a few left. Um, I typically sell these $3 to $4 on Facebook groups. And somebody will buy, I think somebody bought like four this past week, along with a few other books. This, I think, let's see, another set that sells Magic School Bus. This is another thing. I'm on a handful of real specific Facebook groups for like children's books and educational books, $2-3 a piece. And another one that goes in that vein is these eyewitness books, which are depressingly low quality after a while. They tend to, if you can find these that have good binding on them, grab them. Particularly if you know how to flip them. Another $3 to $4 on Facebook groups. When I can get those for $1 a piece or less, I grab them, stack them up, and when I get 3 or 4 together, particularly with some other stuff, I go to the Facebook Marketplace, hit it up a couple times. I've been doing real well lately. I've been trying to. What I try to do, and what I found you can't do is like you do Facebook Marketplace, but you can only do like 3 or 4 things at a time. You can't blow it up with 100 different listings. So that's what I do. Last week, I don't know if you saw, I had some Air Force history books, and I'm on a military book group on Facebook Marketplace. Those sold within 24 hours for $100 for a dozen books or something like that, and got that out. And that was like, it would have taken a long time on eBay to sell those things, but I'm in the right group at the right time. Facebook Marketplace is all about timing. I'm almost convinced of this. It's almost not even quite about demand. It's about timing. Demand helps a little bit with some things in some groups, but I've found it almost seems to be, there's so much on there that you just have to kind of get lucky a little bit and get your stuff in the front of the right person at the right time, rather than it's almost not a demand issue on some stuff. So anyway, there's that. There's a few other things. So fines, and we're actually going to look a few things up because I haven't had a chance to right now, and so we'll do a quick live lookup on a handful of things, on really 2 things here, I think. First, I probably should have cleaned this girl out at the flea market, but she was selling a bunch of manga stuff. This is a My Hero Academia pocketbook. So we're going to look that up right quick. I think that cost me $2. So that's, one other sale. College football season. So college football stuff. And this is a Poshmark sale. A pair of 2 Texas Longhorns women's tank tops. I think these went for $12, $15 for the pair plus shipping. So those sat a little bit longer than I thought they would, but I was like, good condition college gear for big colleges. Sometimes does okay. All right, My Hero Academia. Wallet. Let's go with wallet. Let's see what that pulls. Let's see here. Completed items. That's something similar. Scrolling. There are several that are selling. And to me, this is probably about a $20 item. And lack of other info, actually might raise that price up a little bit more. But let's see. $10 wallet, a couple of wallets. This is more of a pocketbook. Oh, there it is. Is that it? No, this might be it. No, that's not it. No, that's all right. Wallet. We're gonna dive up to and use pocketbook instead of wallet. Let's see what that brings up. And I'm not seeing this. So I wonder if this isn't a more rare discontinued item, which means the price may be maybe I'll get a little bit more for it. Because I'm not even seeing like auctions or anything. And this coloration, this type of design, is selling as a wallet in the $10, $12 range. And there's actually something here going 25. Uh, and huh. No, I'm gonna take off. I was looking at completed sales, so we're gonna jump into for sale. Okay. I may drop this at 40 and see what comes of it. And just gradually draw it down. Being Halloween, it actually might be able to bring in a little bit more. So we will see. And next up, this beauty. Oh, this is a fun find. This is a copy of Pilgrim's Progress. I think if I read the date right, this is 1901. Maybe a little bit later, but there's a list of illustrations. But this is kind of in the time before not everything's dated, which means early 1900s at the latest on something. And since this one has a date on one of the pictures in 1901, then see that old cover page right there is not always put dates on things. So there's a picture that they say dated 1901. Okay. So that's what we're going to look up is we're going to do Pilgrim's Progress 1901 and see what turns up. Let's see. And this is one of those situations where old books is like, so there's a how does somebody have an 18? Oh, this is an 1891 edition. I bet that's a reprint. And a reprint of this is going for 31 bucks. This is a real thing. Okay. All right, we're going to go Pilgrim's Progress. What is that date on that? 1891. Okay. There's one similar in one very, very similar to this. Wow, it looks like maybe 15 bucks. I think there may be a little bit more to this one. I'll probably put it up for 29 to 30 bucks. For about 30 bucks and see if it can get if we'll see what I can get on it. Good binding. There's actually the cover's a little torn, but this isn't like loose and flapping, so that's good. The coloring on it, the color of course is faded. Be nice if this was a little brighter coloration, but the bindings on it is mostly good. There's a couple pages here that are readability is low on this one. I guess that was this one doesn't need to be handled a ton. So that was a fun find. I like getting it up. So that was my week this week. So an interesting sales week. It wasn't just eBay, even though I was listing stuff. I was trying to do the algorithm, please the algorithm, which It's been interesting in the last few weeks because it hasn't seemed to always worked uh, extensively. Um, but I'm also not putting up really like really fast sales stuff, really high demand stuff, which is what you really want to drive the algorithm. But that's what it is, and that's where we're at. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, or not. It helps. It does. So, and y'all be good out there while we get this done. Bye now.